Welcome back to the channel. Got a new melody video for you today. You know I love making these and I'm always trying to drop them in different ways that you could build out melodies. Today I have a simple music theory trick that you could use to make melodies. This one's going to be really easy to understand. I'll break it down so you know what's going on, and then you'll easily be able to implement this when making your next melody. With that said, let's go. All right, we could adjust our BPM right now. Maybe we'll bring this up to like 160. Any piano is fine. Go into piano roll. We're going to be utilizing minor scales for this. So let's see, we have B minor already selected. I think that was honestly from the last tutorial. So let's go ahead and just run with that. So the chord progression we're going to build is going to be utilizing the 1 of the scale. We're in B minor, so the 1 of the scale is B. This is the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, back to the 1 being B. These are 7 notes that fall in the scale, so we're building out on the 1 when we're in B minor. And you could transpose this later. So first thing we're going to do is bring this out to 1 bar, and we're going to build out a basic triad chord. This is going to be the B minor triad because we're in B minor. The first chord of the B minor scale is a minor chord. Skip a note right here, place, skip another note, place, 2 spaces, 3, you know, it's a minor chord. Cool. So we got the minor chord. That's very easy. Right now we're going to utilize the suspended 2, which you've commonly seen and works when you're using the 1 chord, which is just flattening this note down 1. But we're also going to utilize a suspended 4, and I'm going to show you a few other things you could do with that. We'll get into the whole thing, but first thing we're going to do is next flatten this note right here. So let's go ahead and duplicate this over, Control B, take this note right here and go down. This is called a suspended 2 chord. The spacing for this would be a note, then a space, a note, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a note. And if you go over to stamp, you'll see suspended 2. Sounds like this. Right? We're used to that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to duplicate this over here again and utilize a suspended 4. What is a suspended 4 chord? This middle note is brought up 1, 2 right here. So there's 4 spacings between this note, and then 1 spacing here. So it's kind of the same thing as this, 1 and then 4, but this one's 4 and then 1. And you could check this over here, suspended 4 chord, place it in, and that's what that is. So in a minor scale, this works when you start off with the 1 of the scale. This also works on the 4 of the scale. So we have the 1, 2, 3, 4. The white notes right here are the highlighted scale. So the 4 is E. So if we bring this up to E here, you'll see all these notes fit in the scale. And if we tried the 3, a couple of the notes still aren't falling in. This one would work right here. So the suspended 4 would work, but the first one wouldn't. This is actually a major. So if you wanted it all to be in scale, you'd have to look at this note not being in. But if you do flatten this, you could technically use 2 suspended 4s and then a suspended 2. But if you want to do this exact same setup, it's going to work on the 1 of the scale and then the 4 of the scale, which technically, if you think about it, is just going here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I didn't want to explain it that way because it might be confusing if you did it on a different note and then it didn't work out. Anyways, let's go ahead and hear this now. So we're going to go from the triad, suspended 2, suspended 4. See, it's giving consistent notes, but it's giving that like eerie feel to it, and it's very easy to do. This is the very beginning and basic form of this. Don't worry, we're going to get more advanced with this, and I'll show you a whole bunch of different things, but this is the core part of it. Then you'll see that there's an F sharp. You know, when you're making dark melodies, you could utilize notes that are close together in the scale. This note and this note, F sharp to G, also C sharp to D. So since we have F sharp right here, I'm gonna go ahead and place a note right here on G and let this play out. Now let's hear what this sounds like. So that sounds good, right? Now we need more notes for this. So let's go ahead and build out the bottom notes. So what I'm gonna do is just duplicate this over here. So Control B, let's start to build out some root notes. Let's drop way down here. Let's bring this whole thing down, Control down arrow. Let's place a B right here at B3 and let this play out. Let's go all the way over here. And we could drop it actually one more like this to B2. Let's go down 1 note. Right? Kind of getting like a little Dirk feel, little baby. So this is a very common thing you can do with the bottom notes. So this is a 1, 6, 7 in the root notes. If we look at it, we have 1 being B, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is G right here, 7 is A. They're just brought down an octave, but no matter where we use these, it's still going to count as the same scale degree. So now we kind of have this going. We can either build out chords from here. Another thing you can do is layer the fifth of chords. So we could take the root, third, fifth, delete the third, root, third, fifth, delete the third, and then go over here, root, third, fifth, delete the third, and then play these notes somewhere here. And obviously, if we give this a little bit of velocity movement to it, because it's very all one velocity, it's going to sound better. But here we can start to really advance this and make it sound better. So we can start to do things like layer notes in higher octaves to change it up. Maybe over here, we want to take these two notes that are close together, duplicate them. So hold shift and click over. Maybe we want to bring them up an octave and get something like this. But what I want to do is build out a melody using those notes that are very close together. So let's start to do that, and then we'll get into adding to the chord progression we have underneath. But I always like to start off with a solid chord progression and then get into some different types of melodies. So let's go over here, and the first thing I'm going to do is look for two notes that are close together in the scale.
If you want some melodies like this one and need them to be 100% royalty free, I got the perfect kit for you. The MIDI suite has over 100 royalty free MIDI chord progressions and melodies that I created from scratch. Pain MIDI, R&B, dark trap, sad, and West Coast. Drag and drop the MIDI into any DAW and load up your favorite piano or sound. That's it. And don't forget, it's 100% royalty free. I'll leave a link to it in the description. Let's get back to the video.
We got C sharp and D. I'm gonna have these two just play off each other. So let's go ahead, keep that length so they're about half a bar each. Hold shift and go over and have a repeating melody like this. And then what I want to do is go up to the next two. So let's go ahead and place an E right here on 4. And then I'm going to go ahead and catch the end of this bar here. I'm going to go from G down to F sharp like that. And then we can have this play over here. Control B. Let's hear this. There we go. So now we have a little bit of melody going. That sounds good. This is just a piano too. We can throw this in another preset, add effects, but let's go ahead and add a little bit more to this. So now we're going to start focusing on our chord voicings. So maybe we want to change the voicing over here. All that means is taking some of these notes and going up or down an octave. So let's go ahead and try maybe B, bring that up, have that B change, leave this one by itself. Let's see if it sounds good. Maybe we can add another note here, being A. Bring it down, just trial and error. There's gonna be a lot of tension right here. Maybe over here instead. I like that. Bring that down. Another thing you can do is bring some notes in to kind of have an arpeggiated feel. I wouldn't necessarily do it for this chord progression, probably something a little bit more soulful, but we could try it. Let's go ahead and just bring in this note here. We can also do a duplicate of B, but then have that play somewhere like here. So these are the two I just added in. Could do something like that. How did I have that? Hold on. Here we go. Kind of like that. That's actually kind of cool. We can have that repeat over. And then the other thing you could do, probably like the last thing, is have like a falling effect of notes, like a scale run, a descending scale run, I guess. And you could just do that like maybe here and go choose a note. Maybe we could start here and just go down the scale. Let's see. Something like this. All right, you can even bring it up an octave, lower the velocities. Maybe that'll sound a bit darker. Or you could do it at the end over here and choose if you want it up an octave or down. There's an F sharp there, so that's cool. This might just work. Okay, I like that. And then from here, what we could do is change the scale of this. So we're in B minor. Let's go, I don't know, up by 2. See what that sounds like. And let's just find like a random preset, and I'll show you how sound selection can affect this as well. Make it just sound completely different. All right, got 2 different sounds from Omnisphere layered in here. I'm gonna let you hear them by himself, and then I'll layer them together. So this is the first one after the piano. Sound selection changes it so much. We got low plate, so a little bit of reverb, 2 portals on it, and an EQ. This is what this sounds like. It's like a pad. Then all together we have this. And we haven't even added strings, vocals, anything like that. That's just off utilizing a minor chord, minor triad, then the suspended 2, suspended 4, and adding a quick melody on top. So that's how you can make better melodies quickly. It's just one way I like to use when making dark melodies. So as always, appreciate you watching. Hopefully you learned something from this video. Let me know if you try this out and what type of melody you made. And then if you found some good sounds to layer with it, you can also reverse this, chop it up, time stretch it, pitch it, add a whole bunch of other effects to it. And then you get into layering your guitars, your strings, your vocals, all that. It's just one simple way to build out a melody that can end up sounding advanced in the end. With that said, if you're interested in my kits, there'll be a link to those in the description. Till the next video, peace.